Hey there, welcome back. Today is going to be an interview with a female founder who is drastically changing the game in her industry. Today is going to be a featured interview with Anna Kraft. Anna is the founder of Xena Footwear. It's actually workwear for women in industries that you typically wouldn't be thinking of when it comes to fashion wear. We're talking manufacturing, engineering, construction, you name it. So Anna has really brought something to life that did not exist before. And her company is blowing up because when you come up with something that nobody has thought of yet, but it is a very much needed product in the industry, that's what happens. Word of mouth starts to spread. And she has built just an incredible company in just the last 4 years. Xena Footwear has now been endorsed by Tesla. I think it was General Motors, General Electric, like big names who are just like sharing incredible things about her. So I'm really excited to show you how somebody had started a business in an industry they had no experience in. They had never been an entrepreneur before. And in just 4 years, what she's been able to accomplish, it is an incredible story. And my ask for you today, after she delivers incredible value, is if you know anybody in one of these industries, a female that is working in that space, please share the website and make sure they know that her business exists because she's doing incredible things for women. So enjoy today's episode. Anna, welcome. I'm so excited to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. So good to see you again.
Oh, so good. Well, I want to start off just by having you share your story of how you got into entrepreneurship, what that looked like. I think it's such an interesting story. So why don't we kind of start there and then I'll start asking you some questions.
Perfect. First of all, I never planned to make steel-toed boots. I'm the founder and CEO of Xena Workwear. We design and manufacture stylish safety shoes for women in STEM and the trades. And I kind of stumbled into this business and built it out of my own frustration working in the manufacturing industry. I moved from Germany about 8 years ago and started working for some really awesome manufacturing companies. I loved my job, but the problem was that I really hated to wear my clunky work boots. I had to dress professionally in important client meetings. And then as soon as those meetings wrapped up, one of the guys would suggest, let's go out on the shop floor. And I had to hold up the whole room, run back to my desk, put on my work boots and had multiple pairs, none of them fit. And that's when I found out about the shrink it and pink it concept that traditional companies apply. They take men's clothing, men's boots, make them smaller, make them pink. And I believe that women deserve something better.
Yeah. Oh, so good. No, my husband was on the Milwaukee police force for a long time, and I got to see a lot of the female police officers. And when you look at what they're wearing and it's crazy how they've just taken the men's uniform and then given it to the women to be like, okay, figure this out. So I've seen it firsthand for sure. So you decided after having this problem, like, were you in the mindset of, I can create this, I can do this? Or was there any self-doubt of like, really, can I do this? Like, this is not something I set out to do. Like, where was your mindset at?
This is a fantastic question because I waited actually for somebody else to fix the problem. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one who's frustrated with this issue. We have more and more women getting into STEM and the trades. How is it possible that we still don't have products for them? So I waited a few years and complained about the issue until the point where I thought, okay, I have to do it myself. And at that point, I listened to a lot of different podcasts and heard a lot of stories of successful founders who start a business without necessarily having experience in that field. But we ran into so much kind of trouble with our families who are like, oh my God, what are you guys doing? Like, you don't have any background in footwear manufacturing or business, any business experience. So none of our families were supportive. So we really had to believe in ourselves. And of course, I think everyone experiences self-doubt along the way, but I kind of had this vision, like, we need to fix the problem. We need to design these beautiful boots for women.
Yeah,
so.
I love that. Did you what did the math look like when you started to figure this out? Like, if you didn't have any experience in this industry, how did you know that this was going to be like a profitable, sustainable business? Like, what did that research look like? And it's okay if you're like, we didn't do any research, we just jumped in.
We did. So I pulled data from the US Bureau of Labor and Statistics.
Okay.
So I could kind of make a couple assumptions
Yeah.
about the US market, like how many women are in engineering, how many are in construction. So, and then you see so many pitches, and I think so many people, sometimes you can never know 100% sure how big the market opportunity is, but we try to get as close as possible to understanding what are the competitors doing. Like, I really wanted to create something new. I didn't want to compete with somebody who has figured it out already. So being a completely new player in the market, and analyzing the total addressable market in the US, really helped to kind of have the confidence to give it a shot.
Okay, I'm so glad I asked that question, like that you were able to kind of figure that out and see how many women were in that specific industry. Now, when you jumped into this, you were creating something, like you said, that didn't exist yet. So what kind of challenges did you have going to manufacturers to say, this is what I'm trying to create, and no, it doesn't exist, but here's what we need to do?
Yeah, we're actually so lucky the way we found our manufacturer. We went to a trade show in Mexico, and like we lined up multiple meetings with manufacturing facilities. Some of them looked really scary. Like, Mexico has a lot of cartel issues. So going to some of these facilities with like people standing with guns at the entrance, like, it was very scary, and like pitching a lot of men about this concept to launch Xena. 4 out of 5 manufacturers were really excited about the idea. And then the 4 had the capability to do what we wanted to do, and we decided to go with one of them. I had to trust my gut feeling, and it turned out to be a really good decision. We're still, like, they're amazing partners. They are big enough so they can deliver what we need them to deliver in terms of innovation, but they're kind of small enough to take us seriously because we're still a startup.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, 4 out of 5, we're excited. That's great odds. However, sometimes the entrepreneur in us, like, we want all 5 yeses. Like, did you have any hesitation of like, why don't they, like, sometimes when I will read like 99 5-star reviews and then there's a 1 star, I am so fixated on that 1 star. Were you fixated at all on the one person who wasn't excited, or was it like a home run for you when you saw 4 out of 5 wanted to do it?
I think in this case, I wasn't too worried, because I think there was also a capability issue, and they were looking for like a big client. I'm like, we're just not there. You just have to accept the reality.
So it wasn't like we don't like this. It was just not a good fit.
Yeah, it wasn't a good fit.
Yeah, I love it. Now, when you had 4 people you could have chosen. When you said we just went with our gut, what was your gut telling you? What about them made you think this is going to be a good partner?
We got to meet their whole team, and they seem to be incredibly excited, and they have been working on similar products for men. So we're trying to create stylish safety shoes for the men's market, and they had experience manufacturing regular women's shoes. So they had kind of this perfect knowledge in between. And after multiple meetings, we decided to work with them. Of course, we went through 5 different prototypes until I was happy with the result. That we then send in for testing, and we launched with just 1 model in 2 colors just to see what the market
smart
like did a soft launch and decided to see what will women say. Am I crazy? Well, is there a real need?
Are my parents right?
Exactly.
So what happened? You launched these 2 shoes, 1 shoe, 2 options. Who bought first? How did you get out there? How did people find out about you?
Yeah, I think I posted a simple post on LinkedIn saying like, hey, we're about to launch in a couple of weeks. And posted it on a couple of social media sites during that time, and the feedback was incredible. Like, our biggest customers, or like the largest number of customers, came from the manufacturing industry. So women in engineering or different management roles, project managers, safety managers, who constantly have to transition between a professional setting and the manufacturing for job site. And over time, so this one is kind of the perfect walkthrough boot. It has a smaller heel, super stylish. And then we start getting more input from women in construction who said we need a lower heel, more ankle coverage, and additional certification. So then we just started listening to women about what they want and what's missing in the market. And it's been a great strategy so far. Like, we want to be the brand who actually listens to women's needs.
Yeah, I love that so much. So word just started spreading. People were now like, I'm sure they're getting like, where did you get those shoes from? And now it just starts going from there. So it's a very like viral situation for those women in the workplace, I assume.
Yeah, and especially in the beginning, it was a lot of word of mouth, finding out through. We launched our website finally. We went through an accelerator program in Milwaukee that helped us launch the company. So that was helpful. We had, I think, 1 or 2 press releases, but something really small. But then women who have the same pain point, who work in these industries, they have been sharing about us nonstop. So it's been kind of like an awesome, awesome start.
Yeah, for sure. So when did this actually officially start? Like, when did you do that first post on LinkedIn?
I think that I did the post when we were really close to passing the testing. So it was, let's say, 2 months before the launch.
Like when, what year? What year is this?
So I started working on developing the business plan and the concept early 2018. It took us about a year, a little bit over a year, to find the manufacturer, to like design the product, go through multiple rounds of prototypes, pass the necessary lab tests, and then launch the website. And we launched in May of 2019.
Okay, got it. And how did you define back then, like, what success was going to look like? Like, how did you know you were like, this was it? We had proven it. This was something we are really going to like go all in on. Like, what made you start to find, like, what moment made you go, okay, we hit something here?
After launching and getting pre-orders, that was awesome. Like, we launched the site and it took about 3 weeks to get the products delivered from Mexico. And it was really awesome to see how many pre-orders we had from women across the US. Initially, our strategy was to kind of launch only in Wisconsin, work with manufacturing companies directly, try to sell to companies directly, but it was such a long process. And actually, digital marketing was incredibly powerful to get out there on Google and Facebook and all these social media platforms to share about Xena. So the moment was getting pre-orders, and the second big moment was when we finally felt like we're taken seriously, is when we received a term sheet from our lead investor, somebody who believed, like, we think you guys are onto something. And when we raised 750,000 in 2019, like 3 months after the launch.
Okay. So you're like, okay, this is pretty big. Like, somebody else sees this vision too.
Yeah. Like, telling our families, saying like, look, guys, like,
yeah. So what was your family's reaction?
They were, they were very surprised. Like, my husband's family, they come from the Soviet Union. And like the background there was like, you don't leave a safe job. Like, you don't do any risky things. Like, they're like, how could you guys leave your safe, well-paying jobs to do something so risky? So they were just scared. Like, parents always try to protect you. And I think one of the quotes Sarah Blakely uses are things that she said: your idea is the most vulnerable in the early stages.
Yeah.
Because when you share your idea right away, people around you will tell you, hey, have you thought this through? Are you sure? Do you have experience in this area? Maybe you shouldn't do this. And they do it out of love and because they want to protect you. So sometimes it's good to keep that idea to yourself and make some progress before you share it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you said you listen to these women, and that's what sparks you into the next product. How, like, what is your filter for going, okay, we have too many ideas? Or what is your process to make sure you're not putting out too many different things, because you might be hearing so many different things behind the scenes?
We evaluate. We have a like whole spreadsheet where we capture these ideas, but
Okay.
just being realistic, we're like evaluate how much we can execute with our smaller team, and then it's really helpful to have a good team and balance on the team between. Have you heard about the visionary integrator relationship? There's
Yep.
a book that I recommend to a bunch of people. Like it's called
Yes.
Traction.
Yep.
So I'm the visionary who comes up with a million different ideas and tells the team like, oh my God, guys, we need to do all of these. And luckily I have Eugene Furman. He's our integrator. He's our CMO, but he's the one who's like, okay, who slows me and the team down sometimes and like helps make it a strategic decision.
Okay.
And he's an amazing executor. So it really helps to have that balance on the team between the visionary integrator to work on things strategically.
Yeah, I love that. What are some challenges that came your way that maybe were unexpected? Like, has it been pretty smooth sailing? Have you come up with big challenges? Did the pandemic affect you at all? I'm curious.
I think a lot of businesses have been dealing with challenges during COVID. Like during that time, a lot of our customers in engineering have been sent home. So we lost that customer base for a short period of time, but then construction was ramping up. So we gained new customers, more women going to the trades and construction specifically. That was interesting to observe.
Yeah.
And in general, like now with more businesses advertising online, and with Meta, I think a lot of the online businesses know like the challenges in now digital marketing. Now we have to get creative and find different ways, new ways for revenue streams.
Yeah. So you're completely right. Like digital marketing has absolutely changed since you started in 2018 till now. So what are ways you're brainstorming to get creative? What does that look like?
So we start exploring new channels. Like you had of course everyone knows Instagram and Facebook. Like we're looking into TikTok. There was what was the platform? I forgot it already.
Okay. But multiplying or distributing on more platforms basically is what you're saying.
Yeah, more platforms, and also exploring, like we have opportunities to sell through retail or work on more B2B partnerships. So right now we're going through a phase where we're evaluating all these different options. We haven't fully figured it out yet, but it's kind of,
and it's good for people. Yeah, it's good for people to hear, right? Like at some point we have to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And in the process of that, it's not this clear answer of, oh, we're just going to do this next. It's like, you just don't know. You have to just start trying and see which one takes off. And then you lean into that direction.
Yeah, exactly. We try to be smart with our spending. A lot of mistakes startups make is as soon as they raise funding, they feel like they have to spend it right away. And we want to be really smart. So we test out many different tactics and strategies and put more money behind those that actually work.
Okay.
And we did so many different things like podcast marketing. Clubhouse was the platform I wanted to mention. Like there are so many different platforms coming out. So we kind of do a lot of tests and learns and then decide what to put more money behind the things.
That makes sense.
Well,
how many investors total do you have?
Oh my God, that's a good question. I should look. I think you close. I don't have the exact number, but I think close to 20, and the checks really range. What makes me happy is that we have a few customers who like came to me at different trade shows and said, "Hey, I wanted to start this business a long time ago. I'm in engineering or I'm in construction.
Okay.
Since you figured it out, I want to invest in your business." So that makes me really happy.
Yeah,
so the
cool.
checks range between like 10K investments to the biggest one being 450K.
Okay. Very cool. So what's next for Xena?
So this year, oh my God, with the economy of right now, we're like re-strategizing. We built this really aggressive growth plan for 2022. We just finished our fundraising round with a SAFE, raised close to $1 million. And now we're still exploring different revenue tactics, but also investing in at least 4 new safety footwear models. So that's next. We still have so much to deliver on the safety footwear front.
Okay.
And the plan is after the next fundraising round, we want to focus more aggressively on work apparel because that's another huge opportunity for us.
Okay. Yes. Like shoes are the one thing, but now it's like there's other places to go with direction with that. I love that so much. Oh, so good. What do you feel like you've learned? I mean, you've only been an entrepreneur now for 4 years. Like you had a traditional job before this. What's probably some of your biggest lessons you've learned from being an entrepreneur?
One of the biggest ones is like, what do you learn about yourself, about the amount of perseverance you need to have and you have. I always thought like, oh my God, it's impossible to work the amount of hours that we do and like for such a long period of time. But because I'm so passionate about this, like you really learn to persevere, overcome challenges. Really had to redefine what failure means. I was really afraid to fail. And I think many people don't start the businesses they want to start because they are too afraid to fail. And I believe like failure is a part of the process and you should learn as quickly as possible from it and move on.
Yeah.
So
what was a failure you experienced?
Let's see. I think in the very beginning we hired the wrong person, and I feel like now I'm still learning how to hire the perfect team because I want to hire a team of self-starters. Like I don't want to micromanage anyone. I want people who believe in the mission and the vision of the company, who are self-starters and who will be able to work independently. And it was really painful to fire the first person we got on board. But since then, we had really fantastic people.
Yeah. And you learn so much. I mean, people are afraid sometimes to hire because they just don't know how to do it or who to hire. But even doing it teaches you what you do want and who you want and what you won't ever do again. So, I mean, those are such valuable fails because it's making you stronger. And now you're saying you love everybody you're working with. So it makes a massive difference. Oh, so good. So good. Anything else?
Any additional failures? I feel like there's so many. I think one mistake we've made is like launching a product too quickly and using just my feedback to decide like this is perfect to launch. So we learned that lesson. So now I make sure before we launch, I have the product in multiple sizes, and because women's feet are so different, so now we send it out to different women in different industries and let them wear them for a couple of weeks and incorporate that feedback before we launch a product.
Oh, so good. Yeah, I think there a lot of us are quick starts. We just want to get it out there. We're so excited. We're those doers, but not doing our due diligence before can make a massive difference in the outcome. So I think that's such good advice, right? Just to hear people say, hear you say, sometimes we go a little too quickly, because I think a lot of us do that as well.
But you also see the opposite where people, and I had that in the beginning, like this German perfectionist in me who was like, oh my God, it's not up to my like 100% perfect standards, but I think sometimes you need to get to your minimum viable product and like let it like go out in the market and get, if you can test it in advance, that's great. But like certain people have worked for years on something and never launch it.
Great points. Yeah, absolutely. There's a happy medium to all of this, right? We've got waiting too long or going too quickly, like both can have detrimental reactions. So, okay. So, Anna, tell us, you've said it already, but I want you to repeat, like, what type of women buy this? Because I want anybody listening, if they are like, oh my goodness, my friend, my sister, my whoever, right, neighbor, I want them to know, who would they tell about your business? So if you could share who it's for and then where we can find the footwear.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So our products are made for women in STEM and the trades, and it's kind of a broader category, women who work in engineering, project management, like in different roles in the manufacturing space, or the trades, women who are construction managers, safety managers, women in trades who are hands-on and we will be delivering one of our upcoming models will be specifically designed for them that will be incredibly durable and rugged. So if you know any women in STEM or in the trades, please send them our website link. It's xenaworkwear.com. And yeah, we would love to have you support our business. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here. This was so fun. I just think your story is fascinating. And I think just there's so many lessons to learn from what you've done, what you've built, why it's taken off to the extreme that it has in such a short amount of time. So congrats to you and all of the success you've had so far.
Thanks so much, Stacey. This was fun. Thank you for empowering women in business.
Absolutely. Thank you.